Well, the madness is in the air in the month of March, and before the NCAA tournament gets started, it is this Saturday that stands as one of the best days on the entire college basketball schedule. It is Championship Saturday in so many conferences, with tournaments coming to a crescendo, including in Uptown Charlotte at the Spectrum Center, where tonight it's the ACC Tournament Final between the Duke Blue Devils, the regular season champions, the number one ranked team in the country, taking on the Virginia Cavaliers in a rematch of a game played in late February, just a couple of weeks ago, dominated by Duke on their home floor. Virginia looks for revenge and a fourth ACC crown, while the Blue Devils look to once again reign supreme in the Atlantic Coast Conference with tournament title number 24. And hello one and all, I'm Matthew Owens. Welcome to Uptown Charlotte. Thanks for having us in for the final of this ACC tournament. One of the absolute great events in all of college basketball, the original conference tournament here in the ACC, and we get ready to crown a champion here tonight. We're so excited for this. These are the top two seeds. They have been able to maneuver their way through the landmines of the tournament to make it to the final. Virginia, the number 2 seed, they are looking not only for their 30th win of the year, they're looking for some national respect. Not a lot of people talking about this Virginia team, but they are ranked top 10 in the country. They were number 2 in the ACC behind only these Duke Blue Devils, and they could, at the end of the night, win their 30th game of the season. Duke, of course, number 1 in the country. They've only lost twice this year. They're 31-2. They've beaten Florida State and Clemson to get to this final, while Virginia has gotten wins over NC State and Miami, and we are underway as Virginia controls the opening tip. The Cavaliers in navy blue uniforms with orange numbers and trim. They'll attack to our right to begin things, and Tess DeRitter takes a straight-on three that misses off glass, and the rebound down to the Blue Devils. You know the story by now with Duke. This is an injured team, down 2 starters in Caleb Foster, their point guard, and Patrick Gungba, their center, but they have persevered through those injuries to win 2 games in 2 days. Cam Boozer out of a double-team left baseline swings it cross court. Isaiah Evans misses a 3, but Dame Sarr taps the follow in, and Duke scores the game's first points. Virginia on offense, this is a high-paced team. Much higher pacing and much higher scoring than they were under Tony Bennett for the last so many years, with Ryan Odom, their first-year coach, and DeRitter, their top scorer, loses the ball in the paint. It's a Virginia turnover, and Duke has it. Caden Boozer into the front court to our left. Duke is the higher seed, wears home whites. Royal blue numbers and trim. Around the horn, here's Sarr. Outside right, gets to the corner, stops, dishes inside, and Malik Brown is open for a dunk down, and Duke starts up 4-0. Blue Devils in their 37th ACC tournament final, trying to win this title for the 24th time. Virginia trying for their 4th title in this tournament. Malik Thomas drives in from the left, spins it back to the perimeter, and Sam Lewis, who's been hot all tournament, gets inside, and with a fadeaway jumper in the restricted area, Lewis scores Virginia's first points. Lewis, a transfer from Toledo, is 8 of 10 from 3 in this tournament. Caden Boozer with a quick drive at the other end for Duke, goes right into the chest of 7-footer Johan Grunlow, and draws a foul. So because of Foster, their starting point guard, being out for an extended amount of time with a broken bone in his right foot, Caden Boozer has had to step up big time. He's been the starter and really their only true point guard for the 2 games in this tournament. He stepped up in a big way last night in the win over Clemson. He scored 16 points, which was a new career high. He knocks in the first free throw. Duke leads 5-2. Blue Devils won the only meeting between these two teams back on February 28th at the home of the Blue Devils, Cameron Indoor Stadium. Non-competitive game. Duke led at halftime by 15. They won by 26. Boozer hits his second free throw at 6-2. Virginia trying to right that wrong. That was one of only 4 losses that this Cavaliers team has all season long. Dallin Hall dribbles into the front court on a weave handoff. Sam Lewis dribbles left and hands back off. And here's Hall, the transfer from BYU, sending it left for Lewis. Drives into the arc, back outside. Hall for Thomas up top at the head of the arc. He dribbles right, slings it left. Hall extra feed on the wing. Lewis drives in. Through traffic, he forces it up over the top of Malik Brown and in. And Virginia with a tough basket there. At the other end, Isaiah Evans trying to speed forward, and he got bumped from behind by Lewis, who was out of control, and he's called for the foul. Ryan Odom in his first year as the Virginia head coach. What a turnaround for this team that won just 14 games last year. Make that 15 games last year. They have 29 this year. Far side front court inbound. Dame Sarr, the freshman from Italy. Entry feed to Boozer. Left to the lane. They don't double him, and now they do with Grunlow. Behind the back. No-look pass by Boozer was good. Brown fumbles it, and it's a steal. Coming away with it is Dallin Hall for UVA. Charges up the middle. Drives past Caden Boozer and gets to the rim, and Hall finishes off glass, and it's 6-6. Virginia with a dominant second half here on Wednesday over NC State. No, it was Thursday. All these days meshed together eventually in tournament action. And they were dominant last night from start to finish against Miami. Isaiah Evans slices inside, flipped it up wildly, no good. Rebound Virginia, and they're running the other way. And hitting a 3 off right arc is Malik Thomas, the transfer from San Francisco. He's been hitting plenty of threes in this tournament. He had 2 last night in a 15-point performance. He's at 16 and 15 points respectively in this tournament. Cam Boozer for Duke outside to Caden. Swings it back right for Evans. Now around the perimeter, they work it back for Cam. Outside left, steps to the top of the circle. Now backpedals head of the arc, launches a 3. He's 41% from out there. Misses short here. Brown, the offensive rebound. Back to Caden in the lane. One-handed floater misses. Brown trying to cut in for the rebound, and we get a whistle and a foul going against Virginia with the shot clock winding down. So can this thin rotation of Duke, playing just 7 in the rotation, and, of course, very outsized without Gungba, going up against a Virginia team that can cycle in 2 7-footers in Johan Grunlow and Ugo Anienso, can Duke hold on to their number 1 record and beat Virginia? Evans inbounds, looping it to the top of the circle, caught there by Cam Boozer, puts it on the net, drives in, lost it, recovered. Evans, extra pass, right corner. Sarr's left alone, his 3 misses. Another offensive rebound to Caden Boozer. Back out Sarr, lines up another right wing 3, and misses again. This time Virginia secures the rebound with Thomas, and it was punched out of his hands by the always active Malik Brown. Out of bounds, it'll belong to Virginia. What will rebounding look like tonight? Duke, one of the best rebounding teams in the country for the season, but without Gungba, it's going to be more difficult for them. Virginia brings it up the floor, having hit 4 of their first 5 shots from the field, and they lead 9-6. Chance Mallory, freshman guard out of Charlottesville, feeds it left for Jakari White, who loses the dribble against the defensive Evans. Ball slips out of bounds on the far side. It's a Virginia turnover. It'll belong to Duke, and we get our first media timeout of the night in this ACC Tournament final. So we're underway in Uptown Charlotte. And a good start for the Hoos. As mentioned, they've hit 4 of their first 5 from the field. They were red hot, particularly in the second half last night against Miami in their semifinal win. Went crazy from 3 in the second half of that game. They rolled to a 22-point victory. They beat NC State here on Thursday in the quarterfinals by 7. Duke with a 1-point win over Florida State. They had to survive it on Thursday night. And then last night, defensively, they smothered Clemson and won 73-61. So underway in the ACC Tournament final. JT is back with us in behind the scenes producing. And, well, last night he was doing a lot of different things while producing this game. Tonight he's doing a lot of different things, but it's different tonight, is it not, JT? He's watching, not baseball, banana ball. JT?
Hello.
Hello.
I am doing the same things that I was doing last night. i.e. prepping for JBM and producing JBM. But yes, block game and banana ball, because why not? I need something to keep me sane while doing very busy stuff in the middle of the night, and I don't even get to sleep later after the Grand Prix, because I'm not even a part of the Grand Prix, because I'm going to Donington Park to watch some rally. And the stage maps have been released, Matthew, and they look pretty interesting.
Do they now?
Yes, I'm a little bit disappointed they're not using the pedestrian tunnel, because rally cars through a pedestrian tunnel sounds insane.
Well, it does. You are right about that.
There you go.
Yes, there it is.
I'm planning to stand here.
Okay.
Because you get them coming round here, you get them coming round here, and you get them all coming round this. So, yeah. I will quickly try and find the pedestrian tunnel pictures, because it is insane. There you go.
Oh, yes. Yes, that I would classify that as insane, yes.
That's not that wide, is it?
No.
And you can see why it's a pedestrian tunnel only.
Not going too wide through there.
You are not.
Put it in BeamNG and JT will absolutely rip it.
I flipped Ryan Blaney a couple of times today. I also drifted it pretty well, as you saw, Matthew.
Yeah, well, he did. Yeah. He did do that.
Yeah.
As we get ready for play to restart here, a 9-6 Virginia lead. Of course, play will restart once the lights come back on, which they...
That looked like a Coldplay concert.
Just have. Nicholas Jimenez set to check into the game for the first time for Duke. Freshman from Los Angeles, inbounding far side backcourt, looped it into Malik Brown, who got it to Cam Boozer, who then shoveled it back to his twin brother, Caden. Boozer twins combined for 40 points in last night's win over Clemson. Cam up top, feeds it left. Brown tried to shovel it back to Caden, and they ended up miscommunicating on the pass. Caden ended up falling down. Ball ends up out of bounds. A turnover by Duke. And it'll go back to Virginia, who is in the middle of a 7-0 run here. After Duke led 6-2, it's now 9-6, and here come the Cavaliers. Chance Mallory runs the point. Outside left, swings it up top to the 7-footer Onienso. Onienso's pass into the right corner for Thomas slips out of his hands, and that's a Virginia turnover. It'll go back to the Blue Devils. Duke forces 12.5 turnovers per game. Virginia commits less than 11 per game. This is a high-powered Virginia offense, 81 points per contest, against one of the best defensive units in the country in Duke. They only give up 63 points per game, which is third fewest in the country. Isaiah Evans has it, tries to dump it in for Cam, who catches through traffic in the paint. Fakes left, goes right, goes up strong, but Onienso stayed with him and blocked the shot. Onienso led the ACC in blocks this year. At the other end, a spin by Thomas to the rack. Malik Brown got a hand on that to block it out of bounds. Thomas was saying that it was on its way down and it should be a goaltending call. No such call given. Possession will stay with Virginia. They'll inbound from out of bounds. Onienso blocked 8 shots against NC State in their quarterfinal win on Thursday. Then he blocked 4 more against Miami. He had a great game against Miami yesterday, 17 points, which was just his 5th game this year, scoring more than 10 and blocking 4 shots. He's got 13 blocks now in this tournament. Virginia off the inbound. In the lane, Mallory feeds the left corner. Jakari White brings it back to the wing. Takes a Devin Tillis screen. White up top. Feeds it right in the corner. Hall catches. Fires a three. It misses. Rebound batted out to the perimeter. White loads up a straight-on three, and he knocks it down. And Virginia has scored 10 points in a row. Long inbounds pass. Went the length of the floor, and Darren Harris wasn't expecting it. And it goes out of bounds. Virginia did a lot of full-court press last night against Miami. They're doing it tonight, and Duke is trying to beat it by flying up the floor. That time they tried about an 85-foot inbounds pass. Cam Boozer was the one throwing it almost full length of the floor for Darren Harris, who wasn't looking for the ball to come his way. So Duke turns it over. And Virginia will inbound underneath the basket in which they attack. Mallory gets it in, now gets it back out of the right corner. He shoots a three, swirling miss. Rebound collected right on the baseline by Cam Boozer. And here comes Duke the other direction. To our left, Haminia slows the pace. Back to Caden. Jumped it out for Cam, now to Caden again, outside right. Handoff for Harris, who averages 10 minutes a game off the bench. Looped in Cam, touch pass right corner. Caden rises up, and he knocks down a three of his own. Caden Boozer, season-high 16 points last night, and you could see as the game went on how much confidence he was gaining. At the other end, Hall, a shot fake, drives in on Sarr. Knifes it back outside Tillis, now it's to Hall again. Top of the arc, drifts to his right. Right-handed dribble with Nicholas Haminia defending. Out for a screen on Ienso. Cam Boozer switches on to Dallin Hall, who shoots a three over him, and it's an air ball. Out of bounds, untouched. It'll belong to Duke. Duke's calling card all season long has been their defense, and Patrick Gungba and Caleb Foster are terrific defenders, which they are now without. But still, this is a great defensive team, even with the 7 that they're playing. Just ask Clemson that after what they went through last night. Clemson went on a spell to end the first half, missing 14 of 15 shots from the field. Caden Boozer brings the ball up the floor for Duke, matched by Malik Thomas. No full court press that time from Virginia. Caden drives in from the right, goes strong to the basket and lays it in. And Caden Boozer, as I was mentioning earlier, you can see him growing in confidence, which is so important if they're without Caleb Foster for a long time. At the other end, Dallin Hall's right corner three swirled out, but Johan Grunlow was right there to tap it back up and in. It's 14-11 Virginia, who's made 6 of their first 12 from the field. Cameron Boozer the other way. Puts his head down, drives right up the middle, muscles it up off the glass. No! Tap follow is there from Haminia. Haminia at 6'8", playing a lot at the 4 and even the 5 at times in this tournament. He's undersized to be playing that spot, especially against this Virginia team with those 7-footers. Virginia on offense, Jakari White went airborne in the lane, tried to hook it across the paint for Grunlow. It was speared out of bounds by a Blue Devil. It'll stay with Virginia. It's a heck of a chess match tonight with this smaller Duke team now going up against this beefy and tall Virginia roster, particularly with those 7-footers in Grunlow and Anienso, who may not be as talented of big men, but boy, they take up a lot of size. Inbound from underneath, lofted to the outside, met at the top of the arc by Sam Lewis. Lewis takes a high screen from Grunlow, steps right, passes left. Hall connected it on into the left corner for Testa Ritter. Leading Virginia scorer, gets doubled left of the lane. Tries to pass out of it, he does. Up top, Thomas, shot fake, cuts right, launches a straight-on three. Clatters off the cup, no good. Rebound down to Malik Brown, who outlet it on for Caden Boozer. Caden into the front court on the blue and white painted ACC Tournament logo at midcourt. Right-handed hip-high dribble, steps to his right on the elbow, wrapped up top, free to fire for three. Harris misfires too strong. Rebound pulled down by Lewis, the junior from Chicago, transferring to Virginia after 2 seasons at Toledo. Outside right, Lewis bounces it inside. Mid-post right, Grunlow, back out. Lewis cranks it to his left. Hall feeds the left corner. Thomas steps in. Fadeaway jumper off the lane line, misses. Rebound down to Haminia. A Virginia player fell down. Duke with a 5-on-4 advantage. Caden's going to try to take advantage. Right to the rim he goes. Scoop shot with the left hand. Misses, but he draws a foul on Dallin Hall, and that will lead to a timeout with 11:53 to go in the first half, and a high-intensity, high-energy start to this one. Virginia leads 14-13. It's the third time that Duke and Virginia have met in the ACC Tournament final. Virginia beat Duke in Greensboro in 2014. And the Blue Devils in 2023, just 2 years ago, 3 years ago now, if you can believe that, beat Virginia in the final. And what was a low-scoring game played in the 50s. Kyle Filipowski took home the Case Award. That's the ACC Tournament MVP. So a rubber match between these two in the final of this tournament. Virginia in the final of the ACC Tournament for the 5th time in the last 12 years. And Duke here for the 37th time. They've won it 23 times. They have owned this event. That's the most titles of any team in ACC tournament history, well clear of second place, North Carolina. JT has been with us through so much of the week. JT, yes, I heard you.
We just had a fan court foul ball.
Yes, and that's recorded as an out in there.
Which is recorded as an out in Banana Ball. That might be the first one of the year. But yes. I am busy writing cue sheets for broadcasts.
I've learned sparingly about the banana ball, but I was stunned to learn earlier tonight from my guy JT that there are 6 teams. What is the league called?
Banana Ball Championship League. Okay. BBCL.
I see. I was stunned to learn that there are 6 teams in this league because I truly thought it was the Savannah Bananas that just play. They are the only full-time team, and they just play other, teams whenever. I did not realize that this was a 6-team league, and the other teams play when they're not playing the Bananas. I did not know that.
However, they do have games at the end of the season where they play proper teams. For example, last year's mini league and exhibition games were the Clemson and Auburn. Savannah Bananas versus Clemson and Savannah Bananas versus Auburn.
I did not know that either. I did not know that they did that either. Wow, how about that?
Yes. What is going on the court right now? Okay.
Don't ask me. You should know by now not to ask me questions.
Why not, Matthew?
I am not one to answer these questions.
If you want to see 80,000 people dance, you can look at my screen.
Caden Boozer stepping to the free throw line here out of this timeout for Duke. As I said, 16 points last night for Caden against Clemson was a new career high. First free throw slides off the rim, no good. Going to have to step up for however long they are missing Caleb Foster for in this postseason run, and he certainly did last night after what was a shaky night on Thursday against Florida State. Makes the second, and we're even at 14. And here comes Virginia up the floor to our right. Navy blue uniforms with orange numbers and trim. Hall feeds the left wing. Thomas, jab step, steps back with a 3, misses off the heel. Strong rebound to Brown, and then he had it knocked away by Hall. It's out of bounds to Duke. Chance Mallory will come back in for Virginia. A lot of depth on this Virginia team for Ryan Odom in his first year as the head coach at UVA. He was at UMBC from 2016 to 2021. Of course, had the historic upset of Virginia in the NCAA tournament, and then went to VCU and had success there. Nicholas Hemenia brought the ball all the way up the floor, and no one stopped him, and Hemenia goes right to the rack and lays it in off glass with the right hand. But at the other end, a wide-open Johan Grunlow gets to the basket unencumbered. He dunks it down, and we're tied at 16. Full court press again from Virginia. Hemenya gets the ball in for Caden Boozer. They back out of the press. Caden walks it into the front court calmly. Brown sets a high screen. Caden knifes in from the right and floats it up and in off glass. And Caden Boozer has 10 of Duke's first 18 points. What a start for the younger of the Boozer brothers, younger by just a couple of minutes, of course, as here's Virginia on offense. DeRitter, right corner, fakes a three, drives in, and on his way to the rack, draws a foul that goes against Hemenya and Tess DeRitter, freshman from Belgium. He will go to the line. Leading scorer on this Virginia team at 16 points per game. Scored 15 and 16 in their 2 games in this tournament, has DeRitter, and he led the Virginia scorers in that loss at Duke on February 28th when he had 16 points. First free throw from DeRitter is good. He's a 72% foul shooter. Both of these teams do struggle from the free throw line. In fact, they just about mirror each other. Virginia at 71.8%, Duke at 71.9%. They both rank outside the 200 nationally. DeRitter hits the second free throw, and we're tied again. Mention what would rebounding look like tonight with those 2 7-footers for Virginia and Duke being outmanned with their injuries. Well, Virginia, they're a great offensive rebounding team. They led the ACC in offensive rebounds this year. They only have 3 to this point. In fact, 11 offensive rebounds per game. That's top 15 in the entire country. Off the inbound, Cam Boozer drives the lane, throws up a lob, and Malik Brown got a hand on it, and he taps it in. Cam gets the assist. Brown with the basket. It's 20-18. Dallin Hall for Virginia got locked up on the perimeter by Brown, swatted away by Hemenya, and taken by the Blue Devils. Another Virginia turnover. They've struggled with those at times in this tournament. Here's Hemenya, outside left, dribble drive up the middle, in the lane, leans in, and tried to lay it in, but Anienso erased that with another block. He's already up to 2 blocks on the night, Anienso. That gives him 14 already in this tournament in less than 2.5 games. He led the ACC in block shots with over 2.5 a game. Inbound out to Cam, top of the arc, jab step with the left against Tillis, screen from Sarr. Cam dribbles right on the elbow. Bounce pass on the baseline, taken by Brown, lofted back outside Caden. Shot clock dwindling, it's at 5. Caden Boozer, short corner right, draws a crowd, floats it up, over the crowd, misses. Brown tapped the rebound up in the air twice, and it came right back out to Caden, who rifles a pass left wing. Sarr gathers and shoots a 3, off the rim twice, no good. Fight for the rebound. Foul is called. It's against Virginia. It's against Tillis. Possession still will stay with Duke. Devin Tillis picks up the foul, and that's already the 5th team foul against Virginia. Anienso, by the way, that last block I mentioned gave him 14 in this tournament. That is a new ACC tournament record for total blocks in a tournament. And he's got so much more time tonight to get more. Off the inbound, Cam drives in, up the middle, stops in the lane, fadeaway jumper, rattles out off the iron, and the rebound down to UVA. Sha'Carri White for Virginia, hard dribble with the left hand. Turns to his left, swings it right. Tillis and White play catch on the perimeter. Here's White, steps back, left wing 3 in the air, and that is down. And Sha'Carri White drills a 3rd Virginia 3 of this first half. He's got 2 of those 3, and Virginia's back in front. Cam Boozer this time to bring it up the floor before he gives it to brother Caden. It's Caden and Cameron with Brown, Sarr, and Hemenya on the floor for Duke. Caden, left-handed dribble, drives up the middle, gets to the rim again, and flips it up and in off the glass. What a start to this game for Caden Boozer. He's got 12 points. Had 16 last night, which was a new season high. Here's a right baseline drive by Chance Mallory. He got around Cam Boozer, and Brown had to step away in the interior. Mallory gets a wide-open lay-in and gives Virginia the lead back as we approach the final 8 minutes of this first half. Cam outside right. Looks left, swings it that way. Looping pass caught by Hemenya. Returned up the middle to Brown. Now Sarr. Brown a screen. Sarr was left open, and we get a whistle and an offensive foul on an illegal screen set by Malik Brown, and importantly, crucially, that is the second foul in this first half on Malik Brown. It's a Duke team with these injuries that they have that cannot afford to get into any foul trouble. They don't have reinforcements on the bench that they can go to. So 2 fouls on Brown. Virginia offense, DeRitter swings it left for Hall. On the wing, Sarr defends, a terrific defender, the freshman out of Italy. Hall loops a pass, caught in the left corner. Left of the lane, it's DeRitter trying to back in on Haminia. Shoveled back outside, deflected by Sarr, who saved it from going out of bounds. DeRitter goes diving for it, so too does Cam Boozer, and Caden Boozer comes out of the pile with it. In transition, throws up a lob, and it's tapped in over the rim by Dame Sarr, and Duke in transition retakes the lead. Caden gets the assist on the Sarr basket. Duke fans to their feet. Jakari White for Virginia outside right. Overhead pass to the left wing taken by Mallory. He lines up a 3, line drive, misses short. Weak side offensive rebound to Ritter. In the right post, shouldering in on Evans. Hooks it up with the left hand, left it short. Cam Boozer the rebound for Duke, and here come the Blue Devils. Into the offensive end to our left. Caden slashes right. Wants to drive again. Kicks right corner. Free to fire for 3 is Sarr. Clatters off the cup, no good. Rebound in the air. Fought for by Anienso and Cameron Boozer. And Anienso was able to tap it into the hands of Dallin Hall, who in transition quarterbacks it for Jakari White, spins his way inside, lofted back out for Mallory. Duke bench wanted to travel, none called. Hall outside right, splinters his way up the baseline, tried to cut it back into a cutting Anienso, punched out of bounds by Haminia. It'll stay with Virginia, and we get a timeout on the floor.
Matthew?
Yes?
What am I seeing in the Savannah Bananas game right now? The New Orleans Saint quarterback has turned up and they are playing American football.
Of course they are.
This is a baseball game, guys.
And they're dancing in the top right. Good Lord.
That must look so weird without audio.
Yeah.
Yeah, look. What is this?
Well, that's overwhelming. That's, I'm assuming Tyler Shuck. He's the New Orleans quarterback. And he's thrown an incomplete pass on a deep ball over the middle. Was
that possible pass interference, Matthew?
I'm calling football. I was not expecting to do that. There's a shirtless man. No, I beg your pardon. He is wearing a shirt. He's just unbuttoned it. So here they are, 2 receivers left, 2 to the right, 1 goes in motion to the left. Tyler Shuck has appeared at a baseball game, and he takes an under-center snap. He turns to his right. He climbs the pocket. He loads up. High-arcing deep ball to the end zone that does not exist.
Oh, he caught
and it's caught for a banana touchdown! Tyler Shuck with the pass, caught in the end zone through traffic. Now the receiver, that is actually a baseball player, that has caught the touchdown, has picked up a cell phone and celebrates, and now gives it to Shuck. They take a selfie. The Superdome has gone crazy. Now they're dancing, led by Shuck, who has thrown a touchdown pass in a banana ball game. I have no words for what has just transpired.
I need to see how loud the cheer was. I'm gonna... Hold on. Let me mute everything else. Hopefully, you can hear this. Listen to how loud this roar was.
Going deep once again. Back towards Danny Housley. Touchdown!
Well,
that place is electric, Matthew.
I mean, it is. And this is clearly what could happen when you tune into this channel. You tune in for a basketball game, and in a break, you get a football game that is broken out at a baseball game in a league that I don't know anything about.
Gotta be honest, that was a good catch.
That was a great catch. It's a great throw. What a throw by Shuck. He said shuck it, and he drilled it. What a time to be alive. Hello to Christian Malley in the comments.
Hello to our good friend Christian Malley, ticked off the bingo card.
Probably thinking, what have I gotten myself into listening to these people that's not even, that it's totally on a different planet. Virginia.
And yes, I will be merging that with the video.
Virginia inbounding. Out of the timeout, Chance Mallory, right corner. Centered ball for White. Dribbles along the perimeter to his left. Looks for options. Bounces for DeRitter. Dealt back out to Mallory. Puts it on the net. Drives inside. Stops on a dime. Gives for DeRitter. Shot clock winding down. Left-handed hook shot misses. DeRitter got it back, and his putback is banked in. And Virginia has reclaimed the lead at 25-24. Virginia will have an edge in rebounding tonight, you would imagine. Already a good rebounding team. Cam Boozer at the other end for Duke. Swings it left to Caden. Cam sets a screen for his brother. Caden to the foul line. Wrapped it back out. Cam fakes a three. Muscles inside. Goes hard to the rim against Anienso. And Cam with a good hesitation move got Anienso to jump up. And Boozer leans in for his first basket. He had missed his first 4 field goal attempts. He scores to give Duke the lead. Chance Mallory for Virginia. Shoveled up high for Anienso. Dribbles left. Feeds it that way. DeRitter. Sticks it back for Jakari White. Cam out defending on him. Directs a bounce pass off the right wing to DeRitter against Evans. DeRitter with a big size advantage there. Pops it back out. White steps back with a right corner 3. Clatters off the rim, no good. Rebound. So Mallory called for the foul as he tried to get the ball back from Sarr and got him up high, it looked like. 6-team foul on Virginia as mentioned, so every Virginia foul from here on out will send Duke to the foul line as they'll be in the bonus for quite a while. 5.5 to go in this first half. ACC Tournament final. Nicholas Hemenia to inbound. 3 in the backcourt for Virginia defensively. Hemenia got it in for Sarr, then returned for Hemenia, and then they back away out of the press. Hemenia brings it up before handing it off for Caden outside right. Cam sets a screen. Caden wants to drive the right baseline. They blitz him with a double, trying to get it out of his hands. He still holds on to it. Now bounces in for Cam. Now they'll double him mid-post right. Back to Caden on a bounce cutting in. Kicked out left wing. Free to fire for 3 is Sarr, and he splashes down the triple. The freshman from Oderzo, Italy, knocks in the 3. He's got 7 points early, and Duke's lead is 4, and the Blue Devil fans will get to their feet. Mallory at the other end for UVA, outside left. He'll slash inside, come back out near side right. Hammer a pass back to the perimeter. Thomas outside right. Cutting to his left. Head of the arc. Hemenia defends. Thomas right-handed dribble up the lane line. Swirled back out. DeRitter on the drive. Gives it up. Thomas. He'll drive up the middle again. He collides into Hemenia. They both go down. It's a defensive foul. They call a block on Hemenia. And that will send Malik Thomas to the free throw line for Virginia. Well, Sarr fired up after he hit that 3. It's the best start Sarr has had so far this week. He only had 3 points against Florida State. He had 8 last night, 7 in the first 15 minutes tonight. Malik Thomas at the free throw line, 73% for the season. And he shoots the first one down. One more for Thomas out of Fontana, California. Played so long out west. 2 seasons at USC, 2 seasons at San Francisco. Now in his first season at Virginia. Buries the second free throw. He hits both. 29-27. Hemenia looking to get the ball inbounded. Traffic in the backcourt again from Virginia. Hemenia gets it in to Caden Boozer. Left-handed hip-high dribble, switches to his right hand as he crosses midcourt. Cuts to his right. He's had a great start to this game. Tries to chisel his way inside through traffic. Lofts it up, no. Rebound, back tap. Virginia's got it. Now Thomas lost it at midcourt. Cam's got it, 3-on-2. Kick right corner. Hemenia up for 3, no. Rebound fought for. Lewis has it for UVA. Here come the Cavs. And Lewis puts his head down, drives into the paint, right-handed floater misses, rebound, knifed at, staked at, Sarr hit the ground, but he got the ball. He tried to then get it to Hemenia, and we get a whistle, and what do we have? They're pointing Duke's direction with possession, but I'm not sure what the whistle was for. There's no foul, at least for now. That was called, but we get a timeout on the floor. They gave Duke a timeout. Timeout was taken by Duke to save possession. So timeout on the floor, under 4 to go in this first half. Tightly contested game, high energy, high level stuff here in Uptown Charlotte in the ACC Tournament final. Duke leads by 2. ACC Tournament, there's just nothing like it. Now, JT has been with us. We started our ACC Tournament coverage on Thursday with the quarterfinals. JT has been with us for 2 quarterfinals, 2 semis, and the final tonight. Of course, this is JT's first involvement in this beautiful thing that we call March Madness, which I know hasn't officially started, but it might as well have. And JT, the ACC Tournament, which, of course, I know I'm very biased because of where I come from, but I say it's the greatest conference tournament in the land. Our guy Pierre Moss, who is with us in the comments section, by the way, he'll say it's the Big East. A lot of this is where you grow up in. He grew up in New York, New Jersey. He's going to say the Big East tournament's the best. I grew up in the Carolinas. I'm going to say it's the ACC. But JT, what have you thought about the ACC tournament this week?
I've had tons of stuff
going on
alongside.
Yes, you have.
So, scoreboarding has been chaotic. If you see the clock jump by a minute, it's because I've missed something and I have to reset the clock. But it's been good. It's been chaotic. It's been fun.
I'm still wondering how many games you're going to be with us next week for the NCAA tournament. Thursday, Friday. I keep saying just Thursday, Friday, because you're going to have too many races to do next weekend, Saturday and Sunday. I mean, what are they going to have you? They're going to have you on
You say that. I've had tons of races this week and I'm still here.
Well, that's true, but aren't you on air for them next week? And then you'll probably show up next Saturday or next Sunday. You're going to tell me that you're at, some British racetrack that I've never heard of, like ye old Bottomton Speedway or something.
I am at Northampton Saturday and maybe Hendersford Sunday. Now, I hope you know what Hendersford is, because that is one of the only tracks in the UK which could actually probably hold NASCAR.
Okay.
Hendersford and Ipswich are the 2 tracks I personally think that could hold NASCAR in the UK.
Is it an oval where you only turn right?
Actually, the meeting that I'm going to next Saturday at Northampton, they're only turning left.
Oh, very good.
There's no formulas that turn right.
Oh, very good. Duke inbounding out of this timeout. I can't wait to see it. Hemenia will inbound to Caden. Virginia doesn't put as many bodies in the backcourt this time. And Caden and Cam play catch on the perimeter. Cameron Boozer with only 2 points so far, but he loops a great pass underneath the basket. Isaiah Evans catches underneath the cylinder, and he lays it in, and that's the first basket for Evans. So Evans and Cam Boozer, 2 big scorers on this team, just 2 points each in this first half, but it's been Caden Boozer who's shown up with 12 points in the first half for Duke. They lead by 4. Virginia ball on the offensive end to our right. Thomas puts it on the deck. Right baseline drive goes right to the rim and lays it in off glass. Strong driving finish from Thomas. He leads all Virginia scorers in this first half with 7. Caden into the front court. Directs traffic. and threads a bounce pass to the top of the arc for Cam. Cam holds the ball over his right shoulder, two-hands it to his right, on the wing taken by Sarr. Sarr has a 7-point first half. Backpedals, loops it to Cam, airborne catch right of the lane, kicks across to the left corner, Evans catches, fires it up, and knocks down his first three. Well, the story of Isaiah Evans in this tournament has been incredible. He hit 7 threes against Florida State on Thursday, but then he went 0 for 7 last night from 3. He was basically nowhere to be found on offense. Thomas at the other end, a left wing 3, left it short. Evans, oh my goodness, got the rebound into the backcourt. Caden Boozer runs it down and sprints to the rim to slam it home. What a play! Isaiah Evans on a wild back tap on the offensive rebound. He slapped it all the way to the other end of the floor, and Caden Boozer ran it down and got a transition dunk. Lead is 7. Virginia ball again to Ritter outside right, turns and hands off to a staggering Sam Lewis. Lewis on the wing, sharpens his pencils, gets it up top. Dallin Hall holds by his right waist, kicks back this way. Cam Boozer knocked it out of bounds off of Lewis. It's going to Duke. And the Blue Devil fans are as loud as they've been all week after that sequence. Evans with a 3. One of the best three-point shooters in the ACC, and then an incredible play that he made on a back tap, length of the floor back tap, and Caden Boozer got a run out. And Father Carlos Boozer losing his mind in row 1. Duke has opened up a 7-point lead, largest lead that either team has had in this first half. Virginia's largest lead was 6 when they led 12-6. Duke inbounding near side backcourt into Caden, who crosses midcourt. What a first half for Caden. Last night he had 16 points. That was a season high. He has 14. He's driving here! And a foul first before he got to the rim. He slammed it down. It won't count. It's an offensive foul on Isaiah Evans, who's called for an illegal screen. Man, Caden, if he dunked that down and it counted, this place would have really gone crazy. A lot of people have been talking about Caden Boozer stepping in for Caleb Foster as if it was going to be a huge regression in talent at that position. Caden Boozer is a 5-star recruit for a reason. 4-time state champion at Christopher Columbus High School. Here's a drive inside from Dallin Hall, and he gets into a nest of defenders and draws a foul on Hemenia. I think the story about the Duke point guard situation has not been framed correctly. It's not that Caden Boozer, there's going to be a drop in point guard play from Caleb Foster to Caden Boozer. The only drop is the experience that Caleb has that Caden doesn't yet have. And, of course, there's just a lack of depth now. You can't rotate them in. But it's not as if Caden is going to come in and this guy's, just totally in a different dimension and doesn't know what he's doing. Hall made the first free throw. Now he makes the second. 36-31 with a minute and a half to go in this first half. Hemenia runs the baseline from his right to his left, gets it into Cam, who locates Caden, who is really being pressured by Mallory. Caden's got to get it across midcourt. He does with about 2.5 seconds to spare. Caden slashes left, gets to the elbow. Wrapped a pass back to the perimeter that was between Cam and Evans, and it's out of bounds. A Duke turnover. 6 turnovers apiece in this first half. Who's going to finish this half the best and get momentum going to the locker room? A minute 19 left in the half. It's 36-31 Duke. Virginia into the front court. Mallory pops a pass to his left. Taken on the wing by Thomas. Back to Mallory in the corner. Takes an Anienso screen. Mallory swings it right. Hall. Return for Mallory. Back for Hall. Straight away. Dribbles top of the circle. Shovels it back. Mallory turns the corner. Finds Hall open in the left corner. Rises for 3 and drops it down. Dallin Hall hits the 3. Virginia ranked second in the ACC in three-point makes it 10 a game. That ranked top 30 in the country. They hit a whole bunch last night. They've hit 4 in this first half. Caden at the other end had it poked away by Mallory. Out of bounds on the near side. It'll stay with Duke. Duke will inbound near side front court. And I think they've taken a timeout. And actually, we were told earlier that Duke took a timeout to retain possession, but apparently they didn't. They had their full assortment of timeouts, so they had not yet been charged their use it or lose it. John Shire takes that now. So now everything that we had is right. Duke has 3 timeouts left. We were wondering why we had that whistle, and they said it was a Duke timeout. This was a few minutes ago when it never looked like anyone took a timeout, and apparently they didn't. So we still have no idea why that whistle occurred. Christian, by the way, in the comments says, the craziest basketball tournament I saw so far was the Sun Belt. And that's one of the tournaments that went to the ladder rather than a straight-up bracket. And a lot of mid-majors going to that, and that's a smart play to go to the ladder to protect the top seeds, and Georgia Southern nearly went on a generational run. Dame Sarr inbounds on a bounce to Cameron Boozer, who meets it off the left arc. Hands off for Evans, who turns the corner, drives inside, gets to the rim, lays it up, and the ball goes all the way around the rim twice before it falls down. Evans with a driving layup. It's 38-34. Duke's made their last 4 shots from the field. Virginia inbounds. Shot clock is turned off. They can hold for the last shot of the half. In the hands of Mallory. Left-handed hip-high dribble. Ryan Odom has not taken his use it or lose it timeout, and he's not taking it here, it would appear. Mallory dribbling back from his right to his left. Onto the ACC Tournament logo at midcourt. Feeds Hall on the left wing with under 10 to go in the half. They blitz Hall with a double. He gets rid of it. Anienso driving inside against the much undersized Evans. Anienso hooks it up and in with the right. Cam Boozer the inbound. Evans from beyond midcourt shoots at the buzzer short, and that ends the first half with Duke leading by 2, 38-36, the halftime score, as these two who played in the regular season in Durham, Duke won that game by 26. They've played basically to a first-half stalemate here. Duke shooting 50% from the field, Virginia at 46%. And the Blue Devils with a 2-point halftime lead, led by Caden Boozer, with 14 points in the first half for the freshman. And the Blue Devils own a 2-point lead against Virginia in this ACC tournament final. So, a busy day. We mentioned at the top how enormous this Saturday always is. Of course, this weekend, so huge, and everyone absolutely loves it for good reason. And this championship Saturday has certainly given us a lot to be excited about. We'll go through some scores here in just a few moments as we have reached halftime here in Uptown Charlotte. Duke going for their 24th ACC tournament title. And meanwhile for Virginia going for their 4th and their 1st since 2018. Ryan Odom has done such a tremendous job in his first year at UVA. And for John Shire, of course, in his 4th season at Duke, where he has been just otherworldly and filling in, well, not filling in, replacing, succeeding, greatest coach ever in Mike Krzyzewski.
Matthew?
So, yes, JT. I wasn't expecting to hear your voice there.
Yes. So, care to look at the bottom left screen?
Oh, God. What's happened now? Oh, it's a dog. It's a Dalmatian.
Who has picked up the bat and just walked off with it.
Yes. Don't you need to focus?
I am focusing, but once I saw dog and baseball bat, then I stopped focusing,
Well,
but I'm back to focus now.
Yes, I can understand that. Okay. So let's go through some scores here on this extremely busy day in college basketball. Conference tournament finals and semifinals making up this incredible Saturday. Let's start in the Big Ten in Chicago. Two tremendous semifinal tilts, starting with Michigan beating Wisconsin 68-65. What a back-and-forth game that was at the finish. Wisconsin went on a run where they could not miss from three. Austin Rapp, the Australian, he was stuck on automatic from three-point range, got Wisconsin a late lead. Then Michigan, as they've done so much this season, they went into an incredible mode where they could not miss, and at the end, in the final second of the game, Yaxel Lindeborg with a game-winning three-pointer. Michigan beating Wisconsin 68-65, sending the Wolverines to the final of the Big Ten tournament. They will play the Purdue Boilermakers in that Big Ten final. Purdue able to escort UCLA out of the Big Ten tournament as one man bats on a unicycle on one of the screens in front of me. That's quite something. Purdue beating UCLA 73-66. He hit a ground ball to short on a unicycle, and I believe he legged out an infield
Just wait
single.
until you see the world's tallest batter.
Oh, Lord.
The world's tallest baseball player.
The things that they are doing in the Banana Ball League. Incredible. Anyway, Michigan and Purdue in the Big Ten final tomorrow. And that will be here on the channel at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
There you go, Matthew. Top left screen.
Oh, hold on. Is that one person?
That is one person on stilts.
Oh, for goodness sakes.
And in the bottom left right now is the official singer for the firefighters.
Of course, there's an official singer.
Yes, and I'm probably gonna mess up his surname, but his name is Sam. And he made the song This Is How Legends Are Made. Sam Tineds, I think. I've probably messed it up. But you probably know the song, Matthew. I think you've used it for an open.
Oh,
I
incredible.
think you've used it for NASCAR.
Huh. Well, they have an official singer. Of course they do.
They do have an official singer, yes.
Anyway,
I will send you.
mentioned it was semifinal day in the Big Ten. It was also semifinal day in the SEC. And we had an upset in the first of those semifinals. Vanderbilt really throttled Florida. Florida in the running for the number one seed in the NCAA tournament. Vanderbilt dispatching of the Gators 91-74. The Commodores go to tomorrow's SEC tournament final with an upset win over the Gators. No one really saw that one coming. Tyler Tanner with 20 points leading the way for Vanderbilt. The second semifinal had a lot of eyes on it because Arkansas was taking on Ole Miss, a Rebels team that was well below 500 in the regular season, but was in the running to be a bid thief if they won the SEC tournament. It went to overtime where Arkansas scored a thrilling 93-90 victory. So John Calipari's Razorbacks go into the SEC tournament final tomorrow. Darius Acuff, one of the top players in the nation, he scored 24, but Malik Thomas led the way for the Hogs. He scored 29. It'll be Arkansas and Vanderbilt in the SEC final, 1 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. The Ivy League tournament, of course, they only play 4 teams in their tournament, so it was the semifinals in the Ivy League today. Of course, that was in Ithaca, where Yale beat Cornell 88-76. And then in overtime, Penn dispatched of Harvard 62-60. Yale and Penn will do battle tomorrow at high noon for a spot in the NCAA tournament, with the automatic bid out of the Ivy League up for grabs. Will the Quakers of Penn get it done, or will it be Yale going back to the NCAA tournament. They've had some good results in the tournament lately, Yale. First game that tipped off today was the America East Tournament Final, and it is UMBC, Ryan Odom's old team, of course. They will go back to the NCAA tournament. They beat the Catamounts of Vermont 74-59, so UMBC goes back to the big dance. Also a tournament spot in the MEAC up for grabs today, and it was Howard going to the NCAA tournament with a victory over North Carolina Central 70-63. The Bison head to the big dance. They got 14 points out of Bryce Harris out of Brentwood, New York, sending the Bison through. Semifinal day at the Atlantic 10 tournament. An absolutely insane finish in the first semifinal between Dayton and St. Louis. Lead change after lead change down the stretch, and in the end, the Billikens, who's had such a great season, but they have stumbled down the stretch, they go down to the Flyers. Dayton wins it 70-69. Dayton trying to be a bid thief as well. They'll play in the A10 final tomorrow against Virginia Commonwealth, who beat St. Joseph 77-64. A lot of people do think that VCU is already in the tournament. A lot of people think St. Louis is as well. Could Dayton upset the apple cart there and get 3 in out of the Atlantic 10, or could they knock someone out from the Atlantic 10? Semifinal day in the American. South Florida, who has had this incredible, magical season, they beat Charlotte by 22, and Wichita State will meet South Florida in that final tomorrow. The Shockers beating Tulsa 81-68. Wichita State and South Florida, only one of them will make the NCAA tournament. They will play for that tournament spot tomorrow. Mountain West tournament final is just gone final in the last 30 minutes or so. Utah State, the top seed in the Mountain West, beating San Diego State 73-62. Will the Aztecs make it as an at-large? We'll find that out tomorrow. Utah State, we already knew they were going to be in either way, but they go in as the automatic qualifier from the Mountain West as the Aggies get it done by 11. The Big 12 tournament, we knew how stacked and loaded it was all week long. It provided a tremendous final today in Kansas City. Arizona led most of the way. Houston clawed their way back into it late, but it was Arizona coming away with a 79-74 win as they win the Big 12 tournament final. 21 points from both Koa Pete and Braden Burries as Arizona finishes off a 32-2 regular season plus conference tournament run. They will be a number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. They'll confirm that tomorrow. Big East tournament final at Madison Square Garden, the much-awaited rubber match between Connecticut and St. John's, and that was one-way traffic from the jump. St. John's led by 13. They end up winning it by 20, 72-52 the final, as Rick Pitino leads St. John's to a Big East tournament title. 18 points each for Zuby Ejiofor and Bryce Hopkins leading St. John's to the Big East title. We'll see where they end up on the bracket. Could be as high as even a 2 seed, perhaps. We'll find that out tomorrow. NCAA tournament berth decided in the SWAC final as well. Prairie View against Southern, and it was Prairie View getting the victory to move to 18-17 on the year, and they are going to the NCAA tournament as they take the SWAC title against Southern. And games going on as we speak. Of course, Duke leading Virginia here in the ACC final by 2. The Conference USA final is at halftime. Kennesaw State with a tenuous lead of 35-32 over Louisiana Tech. That's a tight one. Trip to the tournament on the line right there. The MAC tournament final. We anticipated the MAC tournament to be incredible all week long. It has lived up to the hype in Cleveland, and right now, deep in the second half, there's only about 6 minutes remaining. Toledo and Akron are tied at 67. Trip to the tournament on the line between the Zips and the Rockets, who will join, of course, Miami University as teams in the Mid-American Conference in the NCAA tournament. Those games are going on along with our game, and then 2 games later tonight. Here on the channel in about 20 minutes, we'll have the Big West tournament final between Hawaii and UC Irvine. The Anteaters and the Warriors will do battle there. Those are the top 2 seeds in the Big West. That's here on the channel, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, only about 20 minutes away. And then the WAC tournament final Cal Baptist and Utah Valley. They tip off, well, I think right around midnight, actually. They tip off out in Las Vegas, as we will have those two finals to clinch berths into the NCAA tournament. That will wind down what has been an incredible Saturday here in championship week, and the tournament finals that we'll have tomorrow start at noon with the Ivy League, Penn and Yale. At 1 o'clock, the SEC final, Vanderbilt and Arkansas. Also at 1 o'clock, the Atlantic 10 final between Dayton and VCU. At 3:15, the American final, Wichita State, South Florida. At 3:30 here on the channel, the Big Ten final between Michigan and Purdue. Once all of those games are finished, you know what to do. You'll turn your TV to CBS. You'll see the bracket be unveiled, all 68 teams into the tournament, who they'll play, where they'll go, and all of that, and then we'll all be filling out brackets for, well, the next couple of days before March Madness officially starts on Tuesday with the first four in Dayton. So, that was the halftime report. That was very long-winded, and I am winded after that. And I see, oh yes, okay, I was wondering what JT sent me, but now I know. Yes, he sent me the link to that song from Sam. We'll just call him Sam. The official singer, apparently, of the Firefighters.
I am sure you have used that song for an open.
We'll find out after we leave the air, I'm sure. Is that the Firefighters announcer wearing firefighter garb? Look at him go. What in the world was that? Did that look like firefighters wearing kilts playing drums?
Well, the Savannah Bananas did have their annual kilt game last week, where
there's
all
an
of the
annual
players were
kilt
in
game.
kilts.
Of course there is. Why wouldn't there be?
They have a cruise at the start of every year called the Banana Tour. They go on a cruise from Florida to Mexico. And it is basically Banana Land at sea, they call it. But I'm going to shut up because my timer tells me we've got 25 seconds until the second half.
Second half is about to start in Uptown Charlotte, the Spectrum Center, where, of course, the Charlotte Hornets have been giving NBA fans in this area a lot of reason to be excited and believe that maybe the Hornets are back. I don't even know if you could say they're back. I don't know if the Hornets have ever been much of anything, but having a terrific breakout season is LaMelo Ball, and, of course, Con Knipple, who won the MVP for the ACC tournament last year with Duke, and he's now could be the Rookie of the Year in the NBA this year. The Hornets having a terrific season. So ready for the second half to begin. 38-36, Duke in front. Blue Devils shot 50% from the field, 16 of 32, while Virginia shot 46%, 6 turnovers from each team, and despite all the issues that we've been talking about with this Duke team, their injuries and now their lack of size, they out-rebounded Virginia in that first half, 19-12. 9 offensive rebounds for Duke. Only 2 points for Cameron Boozer. He has scored 14 points in every game this season, but only 2 in the first half. Duke inbounds, and the second half gets underway, and Caden Boozer, who was the high scorer in the half, gets it to Isaiah Evans, who from the foul line lobs it in for Brown, whipped back outside. Evans drives into the paint, flips it up with the right hand, goes off the heel, and it's Grunlow who clears away the rebound for Virginia. And here come the Cavaliers up the floor. Hall swings it right. Lewis returns it for Hall. Stands on the left wing. Dribbles his way to the baseline. Centers up top. DeRitter with an entry feed stolen by Brown. Brown with an outlet for Caden Boozer. Caden steps to the right arc. He'll slow the tempo. Left-handed dribble on the perimeter. Bounced in for Cam. Will Cam be more aggressive in this second half? After scoring just 2 in the first, he gets doubled here. Shovels it to Brown, who gets it down the middle for Sarr, who kicks left corner. Open, it's Evans! And when he gets an open look from 3, he normally drains it as he does right there. Evans hits the 3, and Duke's lead is up to 5. Dallin Hall at the other end for UVA. Hands it off for Lewis. Lewis hooks it along to his right. Thomas on the wing through a crowd. Threaded it in. DeRitter in the lane. Kick left corner. Hall extra feed. Open look for Lewis, who rattles in a left wing 3. And that brings Virginia within 2 as Lewis knocks down the triple. Virginia did not have a good start from 3 against NC State in their quarterfinal on Thursday, but since then, they've basically been red hot. Caden, entry feed for Cam. He draws another double. Gets it into the lane. Brown knocked away. Then he recovered it. Then he lost it again. And it's Grunlow with the loose ball for Virginia. Here come the Cavaliers. They can tie or take the lead on this trip. Thomas stops left arc. Slings it up high. Grunlow, who hasn't had much of an offensive night so far. Entry feed to Ritter. Spins it out. Grunlow left alone. Fate the 3. Drives. Kicks Thomas. Head fake. He drives it up the middle. Gets to the rim and lays it in with the right. 5 quick points in a row for Virginia, and we're tied again. It's been played in a phone booth this game. Neither team is led by more than 7. Virginia's largest lead was 6. Duke's was 7. Caden Boozer up top, swings it right. Evans catches off a screen, fires another 3. Off the rim, no. Rebound to Ritter. Pushed ahead. Thomas hits the accelerator. Spins to the rim and gets fouled. I don't know by who, because there are about 3 different Blue Devils converging on him. But it'll be free throws for Thomas. They're calling the foul on Caden Boozer, his first. So Thomas will go to the line to try to give Virginia the lead back. Thomas, a 75% free throw shooter. His first one here is good. He's been super in this tournament, has Thomas. That just gave him 10 points. So he's been in double-figure scoring all 3 games this week. 23 times this season. Second free throw good, Virginia. Leads by a bucket. Full court press again from UVA. Duke struggled with that at times in the first half. Cam inbounds for Caden. Caden will bring it up. Cross midcourt. Directs it to his right. In the corner is Sarr. Now Cam back left for Caden on the wing. Caden up top for Sarr. Back for Caden as they play catch. DeRitter defends. Entry feed Cam. Cross-court feed. Right corner. Evans catches. Fires away. And sinks another 3. Isaiah Evans with his third 3 of the night. 10th of the tournament. He's got 13. 44-43. Duke back in front by 1. Here's Lewis for Virginia. Up high, Grunlow. Right back for Lewis. Jab step on the right wing. Shoots a 3 over Cam. And buries it. They trade 3s as Lewis hits his second. Virginia leads at 46-44. Full court press again. Sarr got it in for Brown, who gave it back for Caden. Thomas will pressurize him. Caden across midcourt. Hemenia set to check in at the next whistle for Duke. Caden swings it left. Evans on the wing. Centered back for Caden again. Shot clock hits 10. Entry feed for Cam. No double team this time, and Cam gets fouled and throws up a shot right of the lane over Thomas, who was the one that fouled him. Shot doesn't fall, but it'll be free throws for Cameron Boozer, who again has just 2 points in this game through about 23 minutes and 40 seconds for a guy that has scored at least 14 points in every game this season. He had 24 to go along with 14 rebounds last night. In fact, he's had a double-double in both games in this tournament. First free throw is no good. 2 double-doubles this week, 19 for the year for Cam. One more at the line here for Cameron Boozer. He and his twin brother Caden won 4 state championships and a national championship on the high school level at Christopher Columbus High School. that oh-so-famous athletic high school in Miami. Second free throw is good. Same high school that produced Fernando Mendoza, Heisman Trophy and national championship winning quarterback at Indiana that's soon going to be the number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft. Virginia leads by 1. Lewis has it outside right. Hemenia defending. Lewis puts it on the deck. Drives at Hemenia underneath. Shovels it to the left corner. Mallory collects and shoots and hits a 3. And Virginia's heating up from 3 in the second half, just as they did last night. Nearly a steal. It is a steal. Thomas stole it from Caden in the backcourt. Thomas backs in, kicks back out. Mallory flashes forward. Once again, Thomas in from the right into a crowd. Fadeaway shot from in tight, missed. Onienso swats at the rebound. It's out of bounds off him. It'll belong to Duke. And Virginia, who started out fairly cold from 3 in the first half against Miami last night and then hit 7 in the second half. They've hit 7 threes tonight. They lead by 4. Timeout on the floor, with Virginia leading 49-45, and the Cavaliers with a great start to the second half. 13-7 run they've started the second half on, has UVA. So, Virginia erasing that small halftime deficit. And this is an extremely deep Virginia team with Ryan Odom. And they are certainly taking advantage of the depth that they have and the lack of depth that Duke has in this tournament, and that could be a deciding factor in this game the further we go down. Both teams, of course, playing their third game in as many days, but Virginia perhaps will have fresher legs at the end of this one. They've done a terrific job on Cameron Boozer so far, who only has 3 points. Caden Boozer still leads the game in scoring overall with 14. Malik Thomas with 11 leads the way for Virginia. Both teams now shooting 50% from the field. Duke at 18 of 36, Virginia 17 of 34. Of course, Duke has lost only twice all year. They lost by 1 to Texas Tech and lost by 3 to North Carolina. 2 losses by a combined 4 points. 1 on a neutral site, 1 on the road. And since that most recent loss to North Carolina, they have won 10 straight games by an average of 20 points. They have been utterly dominant. 8 of those 10 wins have been by double figures. The only 2 in that span that was not by double figures was the game against Michigan that they won by 5, and then the win here Thursday over Florida State, 80-79, a 1-point win. But Virginia giving them all they can here in this game where Duke... It's been something that's been talked about a lot on social media during the week. Duke has been a huge favorite in all of their games this week, despite the injuries. They were a 17.5-point favorite against Florida State. I think it was 13.5 last night they were favored by, or maybe 12.5 against Clemson. And tonight, for this game, they opened as an 8-point favorite. I think they closed more at 6.5. They have been big favorites all week, despite the injuries that they face. But again, John Shire led Duke to an ACC Tournament title last year when they faced a lot of injury concerns. Cooper Flagg went out after turning his ankle in the first game of the ACC Tournament last year, and Malik Brown was also injured early in the tournament a year ago. So they went the bulk of their run last year, beating Georgia Tech, North Carolina, and Louisville to win the ACC Tournament, down 2 rotation players. One starter and one off the bench. This year it's 2 starters that they've lost. Quick inbound, and Evans went to the rim and had it blocked from behind. Virginia, one of the best shot-blocking teams in the country. Onienso got back, and that's his 3rd block of the night. Virginia back on offense, and DeRitter has it. Right of the lane, posting up Hemenia, turns left with a hook, missed it off the heel. Evans grabs the rebound, and outlets forward for Hemenia. Far left side of the floor, Hemenia faced defensively by Mallory. Up top, Caden lobs it in. Cam catches. Triple team on him. Cam goes up. Onienso, another block. Loose ball to Hemenia. He goes in. Onienso blocked another one! Out of bounds. It'll stay with Duke, but Ugo Onienso imposing his will on the inside. He's already set the record for blocks in the ACC tournament, and he just had 2 in that sequence. 4 for the game. 4 for the game, and now 16 for the tournament. Caden will inbound from underneath. Cam was trying to get open. He now does. Caden gets it in outside right. Onienso defends. Cam rises up for 3. Off the heel. Scrap for the rebound, and a foul on Virginia. Dallin Hall basically elbowed Darren Harris down to the ground. Foul on the floor going against Virginia. Just the 2nd team foul to go against the Cavs here to start this 2nd half. Meanwhile, Duke's only got 2 seconds on the shot clock, and now it's reset to 20 off that foul. Inbound top of the circle. Boozer drives up the middle. Right-handed layup blocked again by Onienso. White comes out of the pile with it, flashing forward. Feeds Mallory. Drive up the middle. Kick right corner. White shovels it out, and we get a whistle. And White stepped out of bounds on the far side. It's a Virginia turnover. Onienso with 3 blocks on that single trip up the floor. He's got 5 for the game. Incredible. Virginia led the country in blocks per game at over 6, and Onienso was a huge part of that, of course. Here's Cam, darts a pass inside. Evans fumbled the catch, goes back up. Onienso altered that shot. Evans in tight, off the glass too strong. 1 and out go the Blue Devils. Virginia ball again. Jakari White outside left, trying to get by Boozer. Shoots a 3 over him. It's off the rim, no good. Caden has the rebound for Duke University. Cam sets a midcourt screen, and Caden sneaks forward up to Cam. Straight on look at a 3, and he knocks it down. And maybe Cam needed to see one of those long shots go down. It's just his 2nd field goal of the game. He's got 6 points. Duke within 1. Virginia ball. Tillis outside left. Forks it on into the left corner for Hall. Cam switches onto him. Hall drives. Swings it out. Mallory on the deck. Drives into traffic. Mallory shovels it up off the glass. Would not go. Rebound spiked into the ground. Harris collides with Tillis. Hemenia takes the ball 3-on-2 the other way. Hemenia to the rim. Floats it up. No! But he draws a foul on Hall. And Hemenia will go to the line to shoot a pair to try to put Duke back in front. This is physical basketball. And thankfully the officials are letting them play. It was interesting. It was only a few seasons ago. In fact, it was the first season that John Shire took over as the head coach of Duke. That season, they went into the NCAA tournament and lost in the 2nd round to Tennessee as Hemenia hits the first free throw to tie the game. Tennessee, of course, out of the SEC. SEC, a really physical conference. And it was after that season where a lot of people said the ACC is not a physical league. And it doesn't really prepare their teams very well for the tournament when they go into the tournament and play physical teams out of the SEC and the Big 12, particularly, Big 10 too. And since then, the officiating has swayed a little bit in the ACC. And physical play is back in this conference. Hemenia hits the 2nd free throw. Duke fans get to their feet as the Blue Devils are back in front with 5 quick points in a row. Tillis swings it right. White off a screen. Pump fakes on a three. Bounces it into the right corner. Anienso back for White. Back to Anienso driving in. And he goes right into the body of Jimena, who's called for the foul. And Anienso, who's improved so much as a free throw shooter as the season's gone on, he's 71% now. He'll go to the line here. Meanwhile, on this channel, the Big West Tournament Final on a separate stream on this channel about to start between Hawaii and UC Irvine as Anienso has tied the game at 50 by hitting his first free throw. Finished third in Defensive Player of the Year voting in the ACC. Started his career at Kentucky, played 2 seasons there. Last year he was at Kansas State. He's gone SEC, Big 12, and ACC. Bend to the knees. Anienso's second free throw is good. Virginia with a nose back in front again at 51-50. Here come the Blue Devils back up the floor in home white uniforms. Royal blue numbers and trim attacking to our right. Cam Boozer, left-handed hip-high dribble, top of the arc. Drifts to his right on the perimeter, puts his back to his defender, swings it left. Harris catches, shoots a three. Halfway down, popped out. Offensive rebound, Caden Boozer back up and blocked by Anienso. Caden gets it back, resets the offense, 15 to shoot. Caden backpedals to the perimeter, outside right, on the wing, drives in again, goes to the rim and has it knocked out of his hands again. That was Anienso on the contest. Loose ball to Thomas. Virginia with numbers. Thomas dances, kicks right corner. Lewis fakes a three. Now he'll take it. Ends up short, rebound free, out of bounds, going to Duke. And Anienso wants Ryan Odom to challenge. We'll see if he does. But Anienso puts that index finger in the air in a circular motion. He wants a challenge. He has just blocked yet another shot, this time on Caden Boozer. And Anienso, he is a machine. He has 7 blocks. Ryan Odom did not challenge. Duke inbounds. Down 1, 12.5 left. Still a long way to go in this game. It has already taken some tolls on some bodies. Cam Boozer on the deck, driving at Anienso, and he has it blocked from behind by Lewis. Loose ball, Virginia the other way. Thomas transition three, no, off the heel. Then off the top of the backboard. Saar an outlet to Cam Boozer. Forwarded for Harris to the rim, lays it in, plus a foul. Darren Harris a chance at a three-point play as Duke reclaims the lead. Oh my gracious! This game is starting to go off the charts good. This is great stuff. This is great stuff. Harris will go to the line to try to complete a three-point play. 10 minutes a game off the bench is what Harris averages. He swirls in the free throw. Three-point play completed. Duke leads by 2. Anienso needed a breather. He goes to the Virginia bench. Probably won't be there long if Ryan Odom has anything to say about it, and I'm pretty sure he has everything to say about it. That does bring Grunlow back in for Virginia. DeRitter's back in as well. Cavaliers on offense. Here's DeRitter up top. Puts it down on the deck. Drives in. Knocks over Jimena, and they call a blocking foul on Jimena, who was trying to take the charge. The foul is on Jimena. DeRitter went in hard. That will lead to a timeout on the floor. 11:51 to go in regulation time. And we all got to catch our breath because this is great stuff. And for the University of Virginia, I really hope, win, lose, or draw tonight, I really hope people are going to start giving them the respect they deserve. If they win this game tonight, Virginia, they will be a Power Conference Tournament champion with 30 wins on the season, and it feels like absolutely no one is talking about them. They are 10th in the national rankings. They're 29-4, and it just feels like they're going untalked about and have all season. And a lot of people view them as a team that played only one really good team. That was when they played Duke, and they did get throttled by 26 in that game. But here they are in a rematch with Duke. And this is back and forth, and this is just really, really good stuff. Glad to have you with us as this ACC Tournament final is just living up to the hype. If you love the ACC Tournament, and I'll be the first to tell you, I love it to my core. You can't deny that in the past couple of years, the early stages of this tournament has taken a hit as far as the hype around it and the anticipation behind it. And, you know, it's really hard. Like one of our first round games this week, playing in Charlotte in the ACC Tournament in a first round game against Pittsburgh and Stanford. And it's like, there looked to be 20 people in the arena. There was no atmosphere. And it's not hard. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure out why it was like that. Playing in Charlotte, two very bad teams, one from Pennsylvania, one from California, and the tournament expansion has really hurt early rounds of a lot of these tournaments, not only the ACC. Think of the Big Ten tournament earlier this week, having Maryland and Oregon. What? What are we doing? But there are moments that make you rediscover your love for these conference tournaments, like Arizona and Iowa State last night, the atmosphere for St. John's and UConn tonight. It's a changing world, college sports, but at its core, it is such a beautiful product, and boy, have we had a great product here tonight. Meanwhile, for Ugo Anienso, 7 blocks tonight. That is a record in an ACC tournament final. He has 19 total blocks in this tournament as well. That's already a tournament record. Virginia as a team has 10 blocks in this game. They average 6 a game. Virginia inbounding out of the timeout from underneath. Looped out to the top of the arc for Malik Thomas to set the offense. They trail by 2. Thomas directs it off the left wing for Hall, who swings it up high. Lewis steps to the right elbow, throws up a lob that nearly turned into a shot. Grunlow could not tap it in. Loose ball to Hemenia, and Duke's into the front court. Dame Sarr outside right, centered for Hemenia. Cam Boozer on the bench to get a breather right now for John Shire. Harris centers for Brown, dribbles left, hand off Caden, knocked away DeRitter. Caden a recovery, shot clock at 10. Fed to Harris, right wing, rises for 3, well short. Rebound taken by Virginia's Dallin Hall, and here he comes. Hall hits the brakes as he brings up in transition. Hard left-handed dribble. Centered for Grunlow on the outside. Back for Hall. Guided onto the right wing for Thomas. Sarr defends. Thomas swings it this way. Hall halfway through the shot clock cycle. BYU transfer puts it on the deck. Drives at Brown. Stops in the elbow. Directs it to the left baseline. Lewis goes up through a double team and angles it home off the window. Lewis strong through traffic to lay that one in. It's 53-53. Caden Boozer bounces his way forward into the front court. Evans and Cam Boozer already back at the scorer's table, set to check in at the next whistle. Brown, dribble handoff, Boozer feeds it left. Hemenia lines up a 3 and rips the cords from downtown. Nicholas Hemenia fires Duke back to the front. DeRitter at the other end. Big running start to the rim. Layups too strong off the window. Harris the rebound for Duke. Flashes forward. Hits the brakes. Now 2 Cavaliers at the scorer's table set to check in. Hemenia jab step at DeRitter off the right. Steps inside the arc. Backpedals back out. Feeds Caden Boozer. Reset of the offense halfway through the second half. Caden Boozer outside right. Centered ball top of the circle. Brown beyond the 3. This way Caden. Timer at 6. Caden takes a screen. Cuts left. Knifes in. Lost the ball. Got it back. Has to put up. Desperation shot. Nearly banked it in. But it's off the rim into the hands of Sam Lewis. Virginia into the front court. Lewis left side of the floor. Jumps out to his left on the wing. Haminia defends. Lewis crisscrosses in the lane. Shovels out. Hall behind a screen trying to get free. Can't shake Brown. Now steps back, shoots a three. Comes up short. Long rebound. It's free. Foul is called on Duke. Going for the loose ball. It's on Brown. And that'll be his third. Onienso is back in for Virginia along with Mallory. Evans and Cam Boozer back in for Duke. As I said, it was highly doubtful Ryan Odom was going to leave Onienso on the bench for much longer, and he really didn't. Got him a quick breather. Virginia inbounds from underneath. Out of the right corner, three stroked up, misses. Rebound tapped by Hall. Going at it with Sarr. It's out of bounds off of Hall. It'll belong to the Blue Devils. And Virginia now in a stretch of where they can't find many baskets. They've missed 11 of their last 12 attempts from the field. Full court press from Virginia. Haminia gets the ball in for Cam. And Cam doesn't want to give it to anyone. He directs traffic, tells everyone to go. And Cam brings it up himself, crosses midcourt, and now does give to Caden. Caden up top. Cam sets a screen for his brother. Caden outside right, over the top of the elbow. Backpedals to the perimeter. Feeds Haminia. Entry feed Cam. Going to try to go at Onienso, which has been a tough challenge all night. And Cam turned right, and Onienso blocked it again. The other way, Lewis gallops forward in the lane, to the rim, lays it in. Onienso with another rejection, and Virginia turns defense into offense. Duke by one. Caden into the front court again. Caden slashes left on the wing. Centered ball for Cam. Onienso's defending him on the perimeter. Cam darts it in for Sarr. Catches underneath the cylinder. Had positioning on Hall, and Sarr lays it in. Dame Sarr with the basket after he had a big first half of 7 points. That's his first points of the second. Mallory at the other end stakes it outside, straight on three. Lewis knocks it down, and the game is tied. Sam Lewis with another three-pointer. His third of the night. He hit 4 in each of the first 2 games of this tournament. Haminia struggled to get the ball in through Virginia traffic, but did for Cam. In this tournament, Lewis from 3 is now 11 of 14. Cam Boozer for 3 at the other end comes up short. Haminia somehow had the rebound, and he had it knocked away, but it's a foul on Virginia. And that will lead to a timeout on the floor with 7:45 left in regulation time. Someone with a Jeff Gordon shirt on in the stands. Good on you, sir. As he roots on Virginia in an incredible ACC final. What a game. It makes you feel alive, this stuff. Incredible stuff. Whew. You gotta catch your breath. There's no Seth on this broadcast to take over talking duties in timeouts, and JT's focusing on.
Hello. I am here.
He is still here, but he's focusing on more important things.
Like someone in a Greatest Showman cape thing playing baseball, banana ball.
Of course.
Yes. JBM backups. Well, JBM behind the scenes systems has been booted up for an on air in 14 minutes. So it's about to get busy. I'm hoping Banana Ball is done, so I can have my third screen back.
Well, aren't those games timed?
They're timed to 2 hours, but once the final inning starts, the 2-hour timer disappears.
I see. Okay, okay. See, that's another thing I didn't know. I've learned more.
Once the timer hits 0, if they're not in the 9th inning, no. Once the timer reaches 0, no new inning can start. If they reach the 9th inning, then that 2-hour timer's cut off, and it can go as long as it can.
I see. The more you know.
Yes, and I can get rid of the multi-view because as I open the Spanish broadcast, I've got Spanish in my ears. As you can see, the other three streams aren't on, so I can just get it. I can just get rid. I've clicked the Spanish one again.
I like how when your Duke in Virginia goes to commercial, you just get highlights from Serie A.
Yes. There we go.
Or as some in this country call it, Serie A.
Do you like the colourful cue sheet?
Yeah, I didn't know what that was the first time I saw it, but yes.
So, got on-air, intro, and then the formation lap countdowns are purple. The cues for intros or orbits are that orangey colour. Yellow are the pit open. Green is off air, on air. Yeah. It's all nice and colourful, so we know what we're doing. A lot of work goes into JBM broadcasts behind the scenes now. Like, a lot more work goes in behind the scenes.
Yeah,
you can see.
I've gathered that.
It's all timed well now.
Ready for play to restart here. 7:45 to go in regulation time. We're tied at 58. Shot clock at 20. As Duke will inbound from underneath. Caden Boozer trying to get the ball in. Struggling to do so, but now does. To Cam at the top of the arc. Sarr comes out for a screen. Hall switches on to Cameron Boozer, who picks up the dribble, throws it low to his left. Caden couldn't control it. It's out of bounds. A turnover by the Blue Devils. So Virginia will get possession back, and here they come. Up the floor with Mallory, who crosses midcourt, puts it into the hands of Dallin Hall. Hall holds the ball over his head. Carves out a lane to his right along the perimeter. Plays catch with Tillis. Hall a jab step. He'll drive at Cam Boozer. Get a paint touch. Hall trying to get space. He does, and a whistle and a foul. It's an offensive foul on Hall. He extended his forearm out, and they call it an offensive foul. And then afterwards, his momentum carried him into the photographer stand below the basket. Hopefully everyone's okay down there. So a Duke turnover followed by a Virginia turnover there on the offensive foul by Hall. .720 left. Haminia trying to get the ball inbounded. He does for Caden, who's well covered by Mallory. Caden will sprint forward and get across midcourt. Cam sets a screen for him. Now Evans does the same, and Caden hands it off to Cam. Anienso on the perimeter defending. Has been a menace tonight defensively. Off to Evans, left wing three. Too strong off the heel, and Anienso was able to get back and grab the rebound with one hand. Virginia up they come. Mallory scooped it to his right. Tillis returned it for Mallory. Spins on Boozer, and Mallory leans in and draws a foul against Cam. Mallory will go to the line to try to give Virginia the lead with 6:49 to go. Foul on Cameron Boozer is his first. Yes, first. Had to confirm. And here's Chance Mallory, a 77% free throw shooter, going to the line. And he knocks in the first to give Virginia the lead. One more here for the freshman. He's been playing big minutes down the stretch of this season. Second free throw is good. Averaging nearly 25 minutes a game off the bench is Mallory, and those numbers have been growing the longer the season has gone on. Cam Boozer sets the Duke offense. It's been one of his worst scoring nights of the year. He drives and kicks to the right corner, and Dame Sarr puts up a three that misses. Boozer got the offensive rebound. The putback is there, and he draws a foul. Chance for Cam Boozer will to go to the line, and give Duke the lead back. Foul is on Onienso. That gives Boozer 8 points on the night. Again, he has scored at least 14 in every game this season. But he struggled to score the ball tonight because of Ugo Onienso's relentless defensive pressure. Boozer's free throw for the lead is good. Despite the low-scoring night, he still has pitched in a lot. 4 rebounds and 7 assists for the Player of the Year in the ACC. Virginia brings the ball up. Outside right, Thomas flashes in. Puts it back into the right corner. Grunlow rolls in and then throws it away. He drew a double team in the mid-post and tried to pocket pass it to the corner, and he missed Sam Lewis. It's a Virginia turnover. Defenses are getting after it. 10 turnovers by Virginia now. Duke into the front court. Blue Devil fans trying to swing momentum. Cam behind the back on the dribble, trying to take advantage of Onienso being out. He missed the layup. He got it back. He missed the second chance, but he got it back yet again and got fouled on the third opportunity. And if Onienso's out of the game, Cameron Boozer is going to be a lot, and I mean a lot more physical and aggressive as he just was right there. Foul is on Lewis. Cam will go back to the line where he is 78% for the season. Bends the knees. First free throw is good. 6 minutes left. Duke by 2. Onienso has left the Virginia bench and gone to a stationary bicycle. Like a Duke fan was trying to talk to him. Cam Boozer's second free throw is a rainbow that drops in. That gives him 11, so he's in double figures yet again. This is Duke's 34th game. Boozer's been in double-figure scoring in all 34. Everyone in the lower bowl of the Spectrum Center on their feet in uptown Charlotte. Mallory on the outside got blitzed with a double. He gave it up for Lewis off left wing. Evans defends. Grunlow screens. Now Boozer switches on to Lewis, who gives it up. Mallory finds Thomas behind the back dribble. Drives at Caden. Underneath. Reverse layup is good, plus a foul. Malik Thomas with an acrobatic finish. Chance at a three-point play. The foul on Caden Boozer. Thomas comes right back at the other end. Makes a fantastic play behind the back. Throws a shoulder. Finishes through contact, and his free throw is good. We're tied again. And Onienso is back in for Virginia. So the amount of time that Duke had without Onienso protecting that rim, it wasn't much. Haminia gets the ball in for Caden Boozer. Boozer will accelerate into the front court as he tries to angle his way by Mallory. Cam sets a screen for Caden. Back to Cam, off left wing, fires a three. It's too strong. Onienso's there for the rebound. And Virginia will come back the other way to look for the lead. Lewis puts his head down. Stops left arc, swings it right. Mallory on the hash mark. Mallory in the corner has Haminia defending him. Mallory puts it on the deck at the foul line. Back out Thomas. Reversal. Mallory open. Look at a three. It comes up short. It was online, but goes off the front of the rim, and Haminia has the rebound. Final 5 minutes in Charlotte. John Shire wants a timeout. He takes it here with 4:57 to go in regulation time in the ACC Tournament Final. They are hooping in uptown Charlotte. What a game! What a game! Tremendous, tremendous action to close out a fantastic championship Saturday. What are they doing now, JT? The game has ended, but I can't tell what they're doing.
Neither do I. It was just them. It was just them signing off.
Get a chance to catch my breath, and I will give you an update from games going on concurrent to us. The Conference USA final is down to its final 6 minutes. Kennesaw State has opened up a 7-point lead on Louisiana Tech. Kennesaw State trying to make it back to the NCAA tournament, and the MAC tournament has crowned a champion, and it is Akron who has taken down Toledo 79-76. The Akron Zips, who have been overshadowed so much this season because of what Miami has done in that conference. But Akron has been a great story all year long, and they are going to the NCAA tournament, overcoming a 12-point halftime deficit to beat the Rockets of Toledo 79-76. And on to the NCAA tournament goes Akron. So they win the MAC championship. Kennesaw State trying to win Conference USA, but Louisiana Tech is far from done. Kennesaw leads by 5 with 6 minutes left. Big West final just underway. They played about 9 minutes. Hawaii leads UC Irvine 11-8. That game is on a separate stream on this channel. And then the only other game after that tonight is a midnight tip between Cal Baptist and Utah Valley. Well, how is it all going to end here in Charlotte in this ACC tournament? It's been such a fun week. It always is in this event. What a final that we have been awarded with tonight. And as I have said a few times the last couple of nights, you just hope after all of this ends that this Virginia team can start to get the recognition that they deserve. Because what a team they have. And they've gone so much of this season untalked about. But they're about 5 minutes away from becoming a 30-win Power Conference Tournament champion team. Can they finish to get that 30th win? 4:57 left, tied at 63. Duke has 2 timeouts left, Virginia has 3. And Duke will inbound far side front court. Heminia throws it into the back court. Cam Boozer goes to get it. And here we go for the final 5 minutes. Cam's had a tough night. He swings it left. Evans catches, fires a 3, and knocks it down! Isaiah Evans from the parking lot puts Duke in front by 3. Here come the Duke fans again. Dallin Hall and Virginia trying to respond. Hall swings it right. Lewis on the wing, crowded by Heminia, puts it on the deck, gets a paint touch, turns his back, and shovels it outside to Thomas. Heminia switches on to him. Timer at 8. Now Harris switches on to Thomas. He backs in on Harris. Left lane line, fakes the fadeaway, now takes it, and makes it! What a shot from Thomas! Great body control and footwork by Malik Thomas. He leads all Virginia scorers with 16. Final 4 minutes in Charlotte. Duke with the ball and a 1-point lead. Harris sets a screen up high for Cam. Swings it off to Harris. Into the left corner, it's Caden Boozer. Flipped back up high. Cam has Anienso defending. Cam's going to take him on. Cam goes in, hesitates, flips it up off the glass. No. Rebound Virginia. Anienso with more great defense. Sam Lewis up the floor, Virginia looking for the lead. Lewis finessed it over to Hall. Outside right, screen from DeRitter, who only has 4 points tonight. He has it short corner right. He takes on Caden. Size advantage DeRitter. He lost the ball. He picks it back up. Floats it outside. Lewis at the top of the arc. Harris defends. DeRitter a screen. Caden a switch. Lewis on the right elbow. Steps back jumper for the lead. Off the heel, no. Tap follow wouldn't go. Foul is called. It's on Duke. And this will lead to the final media timeout of the night. 3:10 left. Down the stretch we go in Charlotte for an ACC Tournament title. What a game! And what an atmosphere! What a sport! What a time! What a time to be alive! You gotta love it! To watch it is to love it. To love it is to live with it. And to live with it is to breathe with it. Every breath you take in, every time you exhale, you love, love, love this sport, especially at this time of the year. It's just incredible. If your heartbeat is going up, you're just like everyone else. What an amazing day it's been leading up to this great crescendo with the Big Ten semifinals. Both were terrific games. Michigan and Purdue advancing there. The SEC semis, an upset and an overtime thriller. All leading up to the crescendo of the Big East final. Tremendous atmosphere at the Garden between St. John's and UConn. Big 12 final with Arizona and Houston just grinding it out. And now an ACC final between Duke and Virginia that is giving us a lot of thrills. Who is going to claim the ACC Tournament trophy over these last 3 minutes? And who knows, might need more to decide it. That would be JT's favorite word of overtime, of course. If we do go to overtime tonight, no talking about the leader receiving the white flag. Would not have to worry about that in overtime tonight. We have had one overtime game already in this tournament. We have had 50 overtime games in the history of the ACC tournament, but a final has not gone to overtime since 2004 when Maryland beat Duke. 22 years since the last time an ACC tournament final has gone to overtime. It also went to overtime in 1954, 1970, 74, and 95. Will we go to overtime again? Still, long way to go before we even get to that point. .310 on the clock. 1 point lead for the Duke University Blue Devils, who have been playing all week. Undermanned, thin rotation, down 2 starters. Survived their quarterfinal. Florida State had a shot in the air with no time left to win it. It would not go. And then a demolition of Clemson last night. Free throws out of this timeout for Virginia. Tess DeRitter to the line, 1-1, as both teams are in the bonus. Actually, no, they called that in the act of shooting, so it's 2 shots, and crucially, DeRitter misses the first. His second one here is good, and we're tied at 66. Hemenya will look to get the ball inbounded. He does for Caden, as it has been all night. Virginia with bodies in the backcourt. Caden sprints up the left side of the floor to get into the offensive end. Threads a bounce pass to Cam at the top of the key. Onienso defends. Evans screen. Cam back to Evans. Left wing 3. Up. Oh, halfway down. Popped out. Caden Boozer, an offensive rebound and put back. He did the same thing late in the game Thursday night against Florida State. Evans missed a 3. Caden snuck in to get a putback. Caden had 14 points in the first half. That's his first points of the second. Duke by 2. They blitz Mallory with a double. He gets it out of his hands. DeRitter shovels it up top. Hall drifts left. Back to Lewis. He's been feeling it all tournament long. He's got 5 to shoot. It's Hall again. Late clock. Not sure they realize it. 2 to shoot. Hall for Lewis. They run out of time. It's a shot clock violation. The Duke defense swarming to the ball. And Virginia with a terrible time for a turnover. Timeout, Virginia. Timeout, Ryan Odom. .218 left. And an absolute thriller. Punch for counterpunch in this one tonight. What more can you say? Very good job there by JT. He got the shot clock violation up on the graphic. I didn't know he was going to. I had no idea he was going to do that. We talked about it earlier in the week, but I didn't know he was going to be able to do it tonight with, 17,000 different voices in his ear. Look at him go.
So many voices in my ears. I barely heard what you said, but yes, I'm just about to do it. I was just about able to do it.
Yeah, you got it there. Good job. And Virginia, it didn't look like any of the ball handlers that trip knew the trouble they were in with the shot clock. Didn't even get a shot up. It wasn't even as if they forced one up late. They didn't get one in the air. Duke will inbound near side backcourt with Sarr. Both teams are in the single bonus, neither team in the double bonus. 8 team fouls on Virginia, 7 on Duke. Both have 2 timeouts left. They are just bringing the floor managers out to wipe up a wet spot on the floor. Both coaches over on their sidelines just look so calm. And no one watching this game is calm at all, but the 2 coaches coaching in it certainly are. God bless them. Future of ACC coaching in really good hands with the likes of Ryan Odom and John Shire and Luke Laux. As Dame Sarr looks to inbound, he does. He gets it in for Cam, who puts it back into the hands of his brother Caden as we approach the final 2 minutes of what has been a thrilling game. Cam Boozer, top of the arc, holds the ball by his left hip. He backpedals to the tournament logo at midcourt before sending it for Evans. Now it's a return for Cam. Boy, Evans just got plummeted to the ground by DeRitter. That's a foul, and free throws are coming for one of the best foul shooters in the ACC, Isaiah Evans, 5th in the ACC in free throw percentage at 88%. Don't believe he's taken free throws all night long. That free throw shooting tonight has not been, haven't had large numbers of free throws taken by either team. Virginia's 14 of 15. Duke is 10 of 12 before these by Evans, and he has not taken free throws tonight, just to confirm. He's got 2 big ones coming up right here with 2 minutes to go, and the first one rattles in to earn the second. A lot of guts shown by this Duke team this week. A lot of people would have said with a thin 7-man rotation, just lose the first game and don't play 3 games in 3 days and risk any further injury. Evans makes the second 4-point game. John Shire does not subscribe to that kind of logic. Shire on the bench gets down in a hunkered stance and slaps the floor. He wants his team. He's imploring his team to defend. Ryan Odom takes another timeout with 1:51 left. Timeout, Virginia. They've got one timeout left, Virginia, after this, of course. As I just mentioned, both teams in the single bonus, no one in the double bonus. Possession arrow right now is held by Virginia. Very important. If you get a scrap for a loose ball and you get a tie-up, Virginia does have the arrow. Big West final, Hawaii and UC Irvine ongoing. Separate stream on this channel. That one will go pretty late into the night. You can join Seth Eves for that one. Tomorrow in the channel, IndyCar in Arlington, Texas, NASCAR in Las Vegas, and the Big Ten tournament final between Michigan and Purdue. All of that tomorrow. And currently on JB Motorsports, getting ready, of course, for the Chinese Grand Prix. Virginia will inbound far side front court with Mallory. Mallory, DeRitter, Lewis, Thomas, Onienso, the 5 on the floor for Virginia. Inbounded DeRitter, who spins in, lobs it up. Onienso missed the first tap, got it back, and he scores on his second chance. Onienso makes this a 2-point game. Duke inbounds with 100 seconds left. Cam Boozer up the floor. Tough night for Cam scoring. Onienso has been huge because of that. Boozer backpedals to the tournament logo at midcourt. Calmly sets the offense. Boozer still with it with the shot clock at 8. He'll take off and drive up the middle. Boozer, kick, Hemenya, right wing 3. There's a whistle first. There's a whistle first. Foul on Virginia. Foul on Lewis. And that does put Duke in the double bonus, so it will be 2 free throws for Cameron Boozer, and it is the 4th foul on Lewis. So 4 fouls on Lewis. Boozer to the line will shoot 2. We talked about the struggles of both of these teams from the free throw line, and right on cue, Boozer does miss the first. It will be a 1-possession game, no matter what. Cam Boozer, second free throw up, and that one misses as well. Onienso with the rebound. Virginia can tie or take the lead. Brought up and put into the hands of Malik Thomas. Around a hedge, a drive up the middle on Sarr, stops, wheel around, fade away, no! Slapped at and out of bounds off Hemenya. It'll stay with Virginia. Duke players look to John Shire, who is thinking about a challenge. Well, he's looking at the tablet now, and I don't think, looking at his facial expression, I don't think they're going to challenge this. Neither team has used their challenge tonight, and John Shire is not challenging. Virginia ball, 20 on the shot clock, 1 minute to go. Inbound DeRitter. Hemenya defends. DeRitter drifts left and hands off for Thomas. 2-point game. Thomas blitzed with a double. He gets tripped. He falls down. Foul on Duke. I believe it's Caden Boozer. 51 seconds left. Free throws coming. And Malik Thomas, who is 5 of 5 from the free throw line tonight, if he makes 2, he'll tie the game. Tried to split a double team and created contact and got the foul. 5 of 5 on the night, 75% on the season from the line is Thomas. This is 1-1. Spins the ball in his hands. Front end is no good. Cameron Boozer with the rebound for Duke. Empty possession for Virginia at a crucial time. Caden into the front court. Gives for Cam. Under 40 seconds left. There's a 21-second difference between shot clock and game clock. John Shire calls a play. Does not call a timeout. Hemenya with 8 to shoot. Off right arc. DeRitter defends. And now John Shire does want a timeout. Duke was doing nothing. They weren't moving around at all. And with only 6 seconds on the shot clock, John Shire uses Duke's penultimate timeout to try to set up a play. And they'll have to execute it quickly. Duke, one of the best teams in the country at out of bounds play, or out of timeout plays, rather. They'll need a good one here. And as I said, it will need to be executed extremely well because it's only 6 seconds on the shot clock. Virginia looking for their 4th ACC tournament title. Duke looking for their 24th. It has been a spectacular game, a classic ACC tournament final. How will it end? Virginia looking for a lot of respect that they have not gotten throughout a season that has seen them go 29-4. Duke trying to survive. They'll be a number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament no matter what. Will they be the number 1 overall seed is the question. A win tonight, and you would think that they probably will. Remember, Duke is in the double bonus. Any Virginia foul would lead to 2 Duke free throws. 27 4/10 seconds left in regulation time. 6 on the shot clock. Onienso out there defensively has been a menace tonight and this week. Isaiah Evans will inbound near side front court. Everyone in the lower bowl of the Spectrum Center on their feet. Evans trying to get it in. He does for Cam. Cam turns. He'll drive it on Onienso. Goes to the rim. Lays it up. No! Got it back! But did it hit the rim? The shot clock is reset. And Duke throws it back outside with Evans. Shot clock at 13. 2-second difference between the clocks. And fouling Evans is Lewis. Lewis fouls Evans with 12 seconds left. What a strange sequence. As Boozer could not get it to drop. And the shot clock did reset. It did. It just chipped a bit of the rim. And Boozer so intelligently got his own rebound and threw it back to the outside to kill more time. So Lewis commits the foul on Evans. Evans will shoot at the free throw line. Again, he'll get 2. And again, he's one of the top free throw shooters in the ACC. 12 seconds left. And on a night where Cameron Boozer has struggled to score the ball the way he normally does, that offensive rebound, his 8th rebound of the night, and what a huge one it was to keep Onienso from getting that ball. Evans is 2 for 2 from the free throw line tonight. 2 enormous ones here. 12 seconds. First one is good. He could make it a 2-possession game right here. If he misses, Virginia will have a chance to tie with a 3. Ryan Odom does have 1 timeout left. Sean Shire does as well. ACC tournament title up for grabs over the next 12 seconds, and this Isaiah Evans free throw will go a long way in determining it, and he makes it. An explosion of noise from the Duke fans. Virginia inbounds. Thomas speed dribble up the far side of the floor. They do not take a timeout. Thomas drives in from the right, goes to the rim. He lays it in. 5.8 seconds left. 2-point margin. Haminia will go back to inbound. No timeout by anyone. Haminia to get it in. He does for Cameron Boozer. Boozer doubled in the corner. He's fouled with 3 9/10 seconds left. Great job by Thomas to get up the floor and get the quick basket. Cameron Boozer will shoot 2 at the line. And he just missed 2 free throws the last time he went. He's 4 of 7 from the line tonight. Virginia fans looking up to the heavens and praying for at least 1 miss. Cameron Boozer, the National Player of the Year frontrunner. Big free throws here. He makes the first. The lead is 3. 3 9/10 seconds to go. This to just about ice it. Boozer bends the knees, flicks the wrist, free throw is good! Duke is up by 4! 4 seconds left! John Shire not taking his timeout. Ryan Odom not taking his timeout. Duke fans on their feet, anticipating another title. Long throw into the front court by Tillis is intercepted by Caden Boozer! And for the 24th time, the Blue Devils of Duke will hang an ACC Tournament title banner! The Blue Devils have won! The Duke Blue Devils, for the second year in a row, have won regular season and tournament titles in the ACC. An inspirational tournament title from John Shire's Duke Blue Devils, who outlast the Virginia Cavaliers in a classic encounter. Duke completes another run to an ACC tournament title. They will go into the NCAA tournament as the number 1 ranked team in the country, a record of 32-2. And John Shire, the succession plan, it could not have gone any better over these last 4 years. The royal blue of Duke is royalty again in the ACC. The Blue Devils stand atop the Atlantic Coast Conference for an unprecedented 24th time. They are the ACC Tournament champions, and they earned every single bit of it. Down 2 starters, a thin 7-man rotation, an unproven freshman at point guard. They have rattled off 3 wins in 3 days to take home another ACC trophy. 74-70 is the final. Caden Boozer plays a role of hero again. And no one knows what fate holds in the balance for this Duke team, as they have a national championship that they are going to go chase. Will they get Caleb Foster back? Will they get Patrick Gungba back for that run for a national championship? If they only get one back, or if they don't get both back, it will be a steep climb to try to win that national title. But it won't be impossible, because the 7-man rotation that this Blue Devil team has sent out onto the floor the last 3 days has proven that they're not as deep as they once were, but it is still an incredibly talented team. The Boozer brothers, Cam and Caden, who played high school together at Christopher Columbus High School in Miami, won 4 straight state championships and a national championship. Now together they have won an ACC Tournament championship, just like Dad Carlos did, of course, in his day at Duke. This Duke team gets a chance to celebrate a tournament title of their own. A tremendous basketball game, a tremendous ACC tournament, living up to the hype as it always does. And what a champion we have again in the ACC. Second year in a row, Duke has won regular season and tournament titles here in the Atlantic Coast Conference. It's 24 ACC tournament titles, almost an impossible number to wrap your head around. The rest of this conference still has work to do to find a way to beat John Shire's Blue Devils, who worked some magic this week to take home this crown yet again. We will sign off of here after a great week in Uptown Charlotte. Duke reigns again in the ACC. And they, of course, have another championship that they're hoping to go grab over the next few weeks. And they will learn where they're heading. We pretty much know where they're heading. They'll be off to Greenville, South Carolina for first and second round games. And then if they advance past that, They will keep going in the East Regional. They will likely be the number 1 overall seed. They'll definitely be a number 1 seed. And that's all they care about. For everyone here, for Seth Eves, who covered games so well this week, and for the best producer in the business, JT, who probably can't even hear me now.
I can hear you.
We thank him for all of... Well, we thank you, JT, for all of your amazing contributions this week. Can't wait to experience next week with you. We sign off, going on this channel as we speak in a separate stream. It's the Big West Final between Hawaii and UC Irvine. Coming up tomorrow, IndyCar in Arlington, the Big Ten Final between Michigan and Purdue, and NASCAR in Las Vegas. We say so long from Uptown Charlotte, where we say congratulations to the Duke Blue Devils once again. They are champions of the ACC.